I'm Karen Nevin. I'm the Executive Director of Revitalizing Waterbury, which is a 501c3 nonprofit that supports the community. And I've only been here for a year. I started a year ago. And our mission is to preserve, promote, and enhance the historic, economic, and social vitality of Waterbury for businesses, visitors, and residents. I love its starting story. On Stowe Street, which is right smack in the middle of town, there was this decrepit old building, and someone was about to buy it, tear it down, and put in a car wash. If you can imagine the exact center of Waterbury having a car wash, you could see why community members were really upset. So they gathered together, they figured out how to buy this old decrepit building, renovate the building, restore the building, and that building's now the Stimson Graves building. And once the work was all done, they sold it to downstreet housing in Barry, and it's now low-income housing in the center of town. It also houses the senior center. And at that point, they knew that what they wanted to do was revitalize Waterbury. This is their mission from 25 years ago. I remember driving through this town 8-10 years ago on a Friday night, and there's nothing. And now you drive through town and you gotta slow down because there are people everywhere. Honestly, it started with the Alchemist, who had this bar, and then they started brewing, and then they got flooded, and they just figured out they couldn't stay, but they were staying in Waterbury, and they moved their canning operation up the road. And Prohibition Pig bought, after a huge flood, this devastated building. So we'll create our brewery here, and kept it going. And then, and some really far-reaching, far-visioning people have come to this town to create their businesses, and then are continually thinking about what they can do next. Great restaurants. We have a lot of restaurants in this town, and they're really good. Stores and shops, retail that sort of captures what I call, it's the creative economy. It's capturing that make-it-yourself kind of artisan culture that Vermont has. We have this wonderful core. We can expand on it with complementary businesses. Businesses, breweries are constantly calling us. We want to put our business in your town. A really big project that's coming up, what our future has in store, is Main Street reconstruction. Main Street is currently sort of falling apart. We haven't done sidewalks in a long time. There's power lines over everything, and finally, after many, many years, V-Trans is going to start in 2018. We're going to tear up Main Street. The goal of what we're calling Main Street reconstruction is to basically upgrade the transportation line in town, the road. The end results can be beautiful. Don't know how it's going to impact as well as happening. How are we going to make sure people have access to the businesses? How are we going to make sure the businesses stay open? Dirt, dust, things that people don't think about, but this town's going to be covered in dust. How do we make sure people are prepared to clean their windows and to clean and make sure things look good? We're really getting involved in those kind of things. As at the same time, making sure the rest of the state of Vermont knows that Waterbury's open for business. Come to our beer town for dinner tonight, even though it's a little tricky getting here. We're going to make sure those kind of things happen. And that's what RW does. We think about this stuff, and we make sure everybody else knows to think about these things. We may not actually do the work, but we have a seat at the table to help make things happen.